How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Flesh and Blood video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today we are talking more Tales of Aria spoilers, talking about Briar and a ton of other really sweet stuff. By the time you are watching this video, it's already the calling Las Vegas. I'm recording this well in advance, actually on Wednesday the 8th here, so by the time this comes out, the whole set might have actually already been spoiled, so it might be a little behind, but I figured you might want to hear my opinion on a lot of this stuff anyway. The last video we talked about Briar, but not her mechanics. We talked about her as a character and her place in the overall Flesh and Blood world in terms of just like what she brings to the talent system, which I think is a lot. I think it's a lot because she's so different than the other Rune Blades. Regardless of whether you wanted Rune Blade in the set or not, she's just a really cool character with a really cool flavor and very different than Chain and Viserai, which I love, and I really think it opens up the design space so much more. It gives me so much faith for the future of Flesh and Blood and the diversity of heroes and talents and everything. Go watch the other video. But today, we're going to actually talk about what she does and a bunch of other cards. Before we get started, like always, if you are looking to pick up some Flesh and Blood sealed product, go ahead and check out my affiliate link with Channel Fireball. Using that link goes and supports me, and I greatly appreciate it. Or you can, type Rogue at checkout, or go ahead and buy from your local game store. So, without further ado, let's start talking Briar, Warden of Thorns. Briar is an elemental Runeblade hero, 40 health, 4 hand size, your standard stuff. Essence of Earth and Lightning, which means you can have Earth cards and Lightning cards in your deck. And it says, whenever an attack action card you control deals damage to an opposing hero, create an embodiment of Earth token. We'll show that off in a second. Whenever you play your second non-attack action card each turn, create an embodiment of Lightning token. So you can kind of see here, this is the crux of the Runeblade class, right? Playing attack actions and non-attack actions. That's kind of like the core of the Runeblade class, and each element kind of tweaks that just a little bit, which is so cool. Runeblade is the perfect example to show off the full breadth of the talent system, and I think that might have been their intent here with including Runeblade in Aria, to show off just the breadth of the talent system. And I think it does that really well. So we have Briar, Warden of Thorns. This is her adult version. I think the art is beautiful. I think it's absolutely fantastic. She looks incredibly imposing. I think she's really cool. And then here we have her young version, which is also beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. This artist, Othon Nicolaitis, man, I'm so bad with names, did a fantastic job. Absolutely fantastic job. Next up, we have the embodiment of Earth. So this is the one that you get if you hit with an attack action. So if you hit with an attack action, you get Embodiment of Earth, which says, non-attack action cards you control have +1 defense while defending. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy Embodiment of Earth. So it lasts the whole turn cycle, right? So you have it, the turn that you play it, on your opponent's turn, and then at the start of your next turn, at the start of your action phase, boom, it goes away, which is really good. It means that all your non-attacks block for more, and we have a lot of non-attacks that don't block very well anyway. So this is really good for a defensive kind of build. And then we have the Embodiment of Lightning, and holy dude, the art is so good on this card. It is gorgeous. So the Embodiment of Lightning, I mean, just look at it. The art, the borders, is just perfect. Whenever you play an attack action card, destroy Embodiment of Lightning, and the attack gains Go again. So it's kind of like a Quicken token, basically. It's really sweet. This one just sits around. It doesn't go away. The only time it goes away is whenever you play an attack action card. So this is cool. You can bank this up for later. You can save it for a much later. So really cool. Just remember, you only get this after you play 2 non-attack actions in a single turn. So you want to play some non-attack actions to create your Embodiment of Lightning so you can give your attacks Go again. Really cool. I think that lends itself not just to a go wide strategy, but like a really cool strategy where you mix attack actions and non-attack actions. I think that's what Runeblade really wants to do, which is what it's doing, which is awesome. Next up, we have the Rosetta Thorn. This is a Runeblade weapon, which is I don't want to say it's a bummer, but I feel like it should be an elemental rune blade weapon just from flavor alone, but let's not talk about that. It says once per turn action for a single resource attack. Attacks for 2. That's pretty good. It says whenever you attack with Rosetta Thorn, if you've played an attack action card and a non-attack action card this turn, deal 2 arcane damage to target hero. I like this card quite a bit. I'm going to put this in my Sonata Viscerai deck probably because it just does more damage, and dealing 2 arcane damage is kind of a big deal because that means they need 2 pieces of arcane barrier to block it, which if you're playing like regular Viscerai, they're gonna like not do that. So I think it's really good. Yeah, I think it's just really good. It's not like busted or anything, but it's pretty good at doing some damage. Next up we have Awaken, Musta Krakish. Some people will get that out there. Only true cultured metalheads will get it. Anyway, so what does Awaken do? It's an elemental guardian instant, Earth Fusion. So we'll talk about Fusion here, but we're not going to really go into it deep again. So Fusion just means as additional cost to play it, you may reveal that type of card from your hand, and then you get the effect, right? So you play this card, it has Earth Fusion, or you reveal an Earth card from your hand, and then it gets the Fusion effect. It says, if you have less life than an opposing hero, create Seismic Surge tokens equal to the difference, which is crazy. If Awakening was fused, instead create twice that many Seismic Surge tokens. Search your deck for a Guardian attack action card with cost less than or equal to the number of Seismic Surge tokens you control. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is an amazing comeback card. It costs 2 to play, and then you can get a ton of Seismic Surge tokens. And then boom, just get them, because you get all these Seismic Surge tokens, you have this card in your hand, you can just kind of pop off with it. It's just a really good setup card. Really, really good setup card. The Seismic Surge tokens, you don't get them automatically. Like, you don't get the resources automatically. They happen at the start of your turn or the start of your action phase. So it's kind of like a setup card, you know, like I said. But it's really good. It also doesn't block at all, which is kind of rough for Guardian, but it pitches for 3. This card's sweet. This card's really sweet. I think this is fantastic. Also, the artwork, dude. Look at the art. Oh, it's so cool. I really, really like it. Next up, we have Mulch by friend of the channel artist, Sam Yang. If you have not watched our interview, I highly recommend checking it out. It's like 2 hours long, but Sam and I just kind of like really get into it. I think it's a really fun, really, really fun interview and chat about art and about just parts of life and stuff. I highly recommend checking it out. Anyway, the art is fantastic. Sam, you've done a fantastic job, as always. An amazing artist. Mulch has a cost of 4, an attack of 8, blocks for 3. Earth Fusion, and if it was fused, it gains, if this hits a hero, put a card from their arsenal on the bottom of their deck. That's pretty good. Kind of forces them to use the card in their arsenal if it's a defense reaction. And if it's not a defense reaction, well, goodbye. It's coming in for 8, which is a lot. So you're really going to have to defend a lot to not get hit by the Mulch. So I think Mulch is actually pretty sweet. Especially for being a common, this is going to be a really, really good limited card. And we have the yellow version coming in for 7, and the blue version still coming in for 6. Quite good. Quite good. Next up, we have Emerging Avalanche. Another really sweet card with awesome looking artwork, man. That looks like an album cover, doesn't it? That looks like a freaking, like, a Monomarth album cover or something. So this is a 2-cost Elemental Guardian non-attack action. It's an aura. Blocks for 3. This is a red pitch version. As Ice Fusion. Go again. When Emerging Avalanche enters the arena, if it was fused, create a Frostbite token under target hero's control. So pretty good, slows your opponent down a little bit. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy Emerging Avalanche. Then the next attack action card you play this turn gains +3. That's sweet. There's another really, really good setup turn. So it does kind of like a lot of stuff here. It slows your opponent down, but also pumps up your next attack, which I think is really, really sweet. Once again, going to be really, really good for limited, and also might be a constructed card, honestly. I think people are going to play with this. I think it's a good card. We have the yellow version giving you a +2 and the blue version giving you a +1. I still think it is pretty good. Next up, we have Strength of Sequoia. I love the art in this one too, man. Look at all the scars on her and stuff, man. She's been through some stuff. So Strength of Sequoia is another aura. There's a Elemental Guardian non-attack action aura, blocks for 3. This is the red pitch version, costs 2 to play, has Earth Fusion, so it's kind of like the Earth counterpart to the Avalanche, right? They're very, very similar cards. So this one says, go again. When it enters the arena, if it was fused, create a Seismic Surge token. pretty good. And then it says at the beginning of your action phase, destroy it, and the next attack action card you play this turn gains +3. What's really cool about both of these cards, the Emerging Avalanche and the Strength of Sequoia, is that they don't care about the type of attack action. It can be generic, it can be Guardian, it can be whatever, which is really, really cool. Also, I should note that friend of the channel, another friend of the channel, DM Armada, previewed these two cards, and I think he did an amazing job. You should go watch his video. So yellow version does the same thing, but +2. Blue version, same thing, but +1. I think these are all also quite good. I think they're quite good. Next up, we have Explosive Growth. So Explosive Growth is a 1-cost elemental Runeblade attack action, blocks for 3, attacks for 3, has Earth Fusion, and it says if Explosive Growth was fused, whenever it deals damage, attacks you control gain +1 this combat chain. That's pretty good. That definitely lends itself to a go wide strategy. And it says when you attack with Explosive Growth, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. Also pretty good. I think this card is just pretty good. It's a 1-cost card. You're gonna have to give it Go Again somehow because it doesn't have Go Again on it, but still really, really good. Yeah, I think this is good. It'll probably see play. Well, maybe it might see play. We'll see. We'll see how the Briar deck shakes out. If it's going to be more of a go wide deck or a go tall deck, or maybe a combination of the two with like pumping cards and all this kind of stuff. But pretty good. We have the yellow one coming in for 2 damage and the blue one coming in for 1 damage. What I like about the yellow and the blue one is that they have less damage, but they still have the exact same effects. So you immediately get that 1 arcane damage when you attack, even with the blue one, which I think is quite good. So don't discount the blue one. Next up, we have Stir the Wildwood. This one is a 2-cost elemental Runeblade attack action, and this hits like a freaking truck. It blocks for 3, attacks for 5, so 2 costs for 5, not the best rate. However, it has Earth Fusion. And if you've dealt arcane damage to an opposing hero this turn, it gains +2, and if you fused it, it gains +2. So for 2, coming in for 9 is pretty good for Runeblade. Pretty good for Runeblade. Not quite as easy to pull off as like a Guardian attack or 9th Blade of the Blood Oath or something like that, but still quite good. The yellow one coming in for 4 and the blue one coming in for 3. You still get the same buff though. So right, that's like still like coming in for 7 for 2 for the blue one. Also quite good. So I really do think that the yellow and the blue version are still pretty good. These are going to be really, really good and limited, and they might see constructed play too. Just they hit so hard. Next up, we have Bramble Spark. This is a 0, once again, beautiful artwork, man. Just so beautiful. Like, I hadn't talked about the last one too, but like gorgeous. Absolutely fantastic. So this is a 0-cost elemental Runeblade non-attack action with the defense of 2. This is a red pitch version, has Earth Fusion, and it says the next attack action card you play this turn gains, when you attack with this, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. Pretty good. Kind of like a Seeds of Agony kind of thing. If Bramble Spark was fused, the next attack action card you play this turn gains +3. Yo, that's really good. So 0 cost, +3, and another, you know, like a little ping, like a little arcane damage. Really good. I like this card a lot. I think it is quite good. We have the yellow version with a +2 and the blue version with a +1. Still pretty good. Once again, these don't give the attack Go Again though, so if you want to go wide, you'll have to give your attack Go Again through other means. Next up, we have Exposed to the Elements. This is very interesting because if you look at the armor on there, it looks like the tectonic plating, which is super cool. Anyway, this is a 2-cost elemental instant. This is an elemental card, so any of the heroes from Aria can use this. They're all elemental heroes. This one is a blue pitch. It only has a blue pitch. It's a majestic. It has earth and or ice, so you can do either or both. And it says if exposed elements was fused with the earth card, put a -1 counter on target equipment. You know, like the tectonic plating there. If exposed to the elements was fused by an ice card, destroy an equipment with 0 defense controlled by target hero unless they pay 2. This is sweet. This card is really cool. I love cards with unique effects like this, and there's not a ton of cards out there that destroy equipment. There's only like maybe a couple that help you do that, like Magnetic Shockwave and that kind of stuff, but I like this card a lot. I love cards that really hate on specific stuff to keep things in check, and I think that's what this card does, and I like it, so I think it's sweet. Next up, we have Pulse of Eisenloff. I think that all the pulses are fantastic. Today, Channel Fireball put out their video for Pulse of Mount... Oh, no, they did. It was Channel Mount Heroic. I'm sorry. Not Pulse. Channel Mount Heroic, which I actually took part in. So I actually took part in many preview videos for Tales of Aria, which I think is really cool. Well, personally, obviously, I think it's cool, but yeah, I just love being a part of I love being a part of this. Anyway, this is a 2-cost card. It's an Ice Earth Defense Reaction, legendary, so you can only have 1 in your deck. Ice, Earth, and Elemental attack action cards have +1 while defending this turn. That's +1 defense. So Ice, Earth, and Elemental action cards. So not attack action cards. So it does not pump this. This is a defense reaction, but you can start off by playing your Pulse of Eisenloft, and then all of your other stuff that you defend with for the turn gets pumped up if they are Ice, Earth, or Elemental, which is really sweet. I think this card's great. It's not like the best, but I still think it's pretty good. Just a really good, solid defensive card. Blocking for 6 for 2 isn't the best rate when you have stuff like Steelblade Shunt, but I still think it's pretty good. Next up, we have Tome of Harvests. It's a really interesting card. So this is an Earth non-attack action with a defense of 2, cost of 3. It is blue pitch. It says, as additional cost to play Tome of Harvests, put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck. Draw 3 cards, go again. So, has go again? Great. Draw 3 cards? Great. But it costs 3 to play, and you have to have a card in your arsenal. I still think this is really good. If you can set this up, I think it's really good. So you're pitching, so say you pitch a blue card, you're down 2 cards, right? So you pitch a blue card, and then you play this card, presumably from your hand. So you play this card. Yeah, you basically have to play this card from your hand. You can't play it from your arsenal, because you need to put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck, unless you're playing Ranger, in which case that still doesn't work because there's no Earth Ranger. So yeah, you can't play this from your arsenal, basically. So this basically nets you 1 card, right? It kind of filters your hand and gets you 1 additional card at the end of the day. Unless you have some way to make this cost less or something, you basically net 1 card because you need a card to pitch to play this. You play this, and then you draw 3. So you got rid of 2 cards and you drew 3 cards. I think it's all right. I don't think it's busted, and I don't know. I don't even know if it'll see a lot of play. Maybe. Next up, we have Evergreen. Evergreen is a 3-cost Earth attack action, 2 defense, 7 attack. That's not bad. If Evergreen is played from the arsenal, put it on the bottom of your deck when the combat chain closes. That's all right, man. I mean, I think it's pretty good. That's a good way to just kind of like keep recycling it, but you have to play it from your arsenal. So it can be a little tricky like that. I don't think this card's bad, but I don't see it seeing a lot of play outside of like limited. We have a yellow pitch coming in for 6, and the blue pitch coming in for 5. Yeah, basically this is not a Drone of Brutality. Next up, we have Weave Earth with another really, really cool piece. Look, she almost looks like an Earth Angel. Okay, we're not gonna go into that. Weave Earth, 0 cost Earth action. We also saw Weave Lightning and we saw Weave Ice. So this is very similar. So it says, the next Earth or Elemental attack action card you play this turn gains +3. If it's fused, it gains +4. So 0 cost +4 is really good. 0 cost +3 is also pretty good. Is it better than getting Dominate or Go Again? Probably not, but still pretty good. Definitely see limited play. Has Go Again like on this, so you can just use it to pump up your attacks. I don't hate it at all. I think it's pretty good. 0. Oh wait. Oh no, it's still the same. I'm sorry, it's still the same. I was like, oh wait, the pump is different. No, the yellow pitch is +2 and +3, and the blue pitch is +1 and +2. Yeah, it's okay. Next up, oh, this one's sweet. Heart of Ice. So the Heart of Ice is an ice equipment chess piece with 1 defense. It is a legendary card. It has a once per turn action for a single resource. Cards and activated abilities cost opposing heroes an additional 1 resource this turn. Go again. That's very interesting. It's a once per turn action. It's not an instant, which means it just makes it so that when they do stuff on your turn, it costs more because you can only play this on your turn because you can only play an action on your turn. So if this was an instant, it would be a totally different story, but it's not an instant. I still think it's pretty good. It's really good for just kind of like making it so they can't mess with you on your own turn. It also has Arcane Barrier 1, and it also has Blade Break. You think this wouldn't have Blade Break. It looks very chunky, but I guess the ice makes it brittle. Yeah, interesting card. I mean, it's obviously a strict upgrade over like your Null Rune Robes or whatever. So if you're running Null Rune Robes, you're just going to put this in instead if you're playing an Ice Hero because it has Arcane Barrier 1. But other than that, is it going to see play for its ability? Maybe in like really controlling decks where you really want to tax your opponent, because it makes like their defense reactions cost more too. Yeah, maybe. I think it's pretty good. Next up we have Blink. Blink is freaking crazy. Like, I don't know how good it is, but it's freaking crazy. So Blink is a 0-cost lightning instant with blue pitch. It's an instant, so it has no defense, but it says gain 1 action point. You can only gain action points during your action phase. Dude, this is just a 0-cost gain an action point. This is going to be a sweet card to put in your arsenal. I can imagine playing this, because it's a lightning card, playing this with Lexi, with Seek Horizon, putting 2 of these into your arsenal, and on your turn being like, boom, boom, I gained 2 action points. That's really cool. I do like this. I think it's good. This has to see some play. This card just speaks like, break me, break me. And I hope someone does. Next up we have Embolden. So Embolden is a Guardian non-attack action aura, blocks for 3, costs 4 to play. There's another card that DM Armada spoiled. It says go again. When Embolden enters the arena, if you control another non-token aura, draw a card. Really good. So you want to play one of those other cards or just any other non-token aura, immediately replaces itself. Pretty good. And it says at the beginning of your action phase, destroy Embolden, and the next Guardian attack action card you play this turn gains +5. That's really good. +5 is really good. And you can also maybe get a card draw off of it. I think this card's really good. I think this will see definitely limited play, probably constructed play too. So I like this card a lot. And the art is awesome. Look at the scale. Like, there's a little dude on the bottom right. Give you the scale of those statues. Really, really cool. Then we have the yellow version coming in for a +4 and the blue version coming in for a +3. I think they're all great, even the blue version. Next up we have Thump. I love the name of this card. It's just Thump. Thump is a Guardian attack action. Attacks for 6, costs 4. It says, while Thump's attack is greater than its base attack, it has Dominate. If it hits a hero, they discard a card. So basically, pump the Thump. That's what you want to do. You want to pump the Thump, pump it with your Embolden, pump it with like a, I guess attack reaction wouldn't really work because they've already blocked. But it means that they couldn't block more. It's very interesting how this would work with an attack reaction. But in any case, I think this is great. Just pump it up. Pump it with Slogism, pump it with Embolden or any of those other ones. It's fantastic. And they have to discard a card. It's great. We have the yellow version coming in for 5 and the blue version coming in for a measly 4. I'm not sure I like the blue and the yellow that much, but I still think they're pretty good. And it's going to be a great limited card. Next up we have Oaken Old with really cool artwork, man. This is a 3-cost Elemental Guardian attack action. Blocks for 3, attacks for 7, 3-cost 7. Pretty good rate. Earth and Ice Fusion. It's both. Kind of like that Lexi card, it's both. If Oaken Old was fused, it gains +2, Dominate, and if it hits a hero, they put 2 random cards from their hand on the bottom of their deck in any order. So they don't have to discard them, but, you know, +9, Dominate, like a 9-attack Dominate that makes them get rid of 2 cards, is so good. You basically need a perfect hand for this, though, right? Because it costs 3 to play, then you play it, and then you have to show an Ice and an Earth card from your hand. So you need a full grip, basically, unless you're playing this from your arsenal. But I think it's great. It's really powerful. It's a really, really good card. And then finally, we have Sutcliffe's Suede Hides. This card, I'm putting in my Sonata Viscera deck, very probably. So what Sutcliffe Suede Hides does, it's a Rune Blade equipment, legs, attack reaction for 1 resource, destroy it, target attack action card gains go again. So any attack action card. You can only activate this ability if you played a non-attack action card this turn. Yep, this is going in my Sonata deck. I think it's fantastic. I don't know if I'm going to play it every single time, because I could see reasons why you'd want to play the Time Skippers, but this just has like a lower resource requirement. So I think it's great. Yeah, it's not I love cards. I love designs like this, right? So I love that this doesn't immediately replace Snapdragon Scalers for Rune Blades, because Snapdragon Scalers doesn't cost any resources to use. So you can just do it, and it doesn't have any stipulations. But it has that rider where the card has to cost 1 or less, whereas this one doesn't. So you can use this on whatever, you know. You can use this on your Command and Conquer if you wanted to. So I think it's great, and can't wait to play it in my Sonata Viscera deck. And then we are back to Briar. So like I said, this video was filmed way before The Calling Las Vegas. Let me know if you would like to see my final thoughts on all of the other cards in Tales of Aria after Vegas. And thank you so much for watching. I'll probably do that anyway, just because I think it'll be fun to talk about all of the cards. There's so much stuff that was spoiled today that's really spicy. So I saw the other Runeblade stuff. I saw the Majestic Runeblade weapon, the Dusk Blade. I saw the legendary Earth helmet thing. I saw all that stuff, but I don't have good images of them, so we're not going to talk about them today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a fun time at The Calling Las Vegas, or at least you tuned in and watched me do some coverage at The Calling Las Vegas. If you're watching this the day of, this will probably come out on Sunday, so we might still be, no, we're definitely going to be still doing the top 4, top 8, that kind of stuff. So, tune in and watch some Calling coverage over on Channel Fireball. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you later.